Before we finish, I'd just like to introduce Kevin Marshall. I'm delighted to have Professor Kevin Marshall here. He's the Head of Skills and Learning for Microsoft, and he's here to speak to us today about lifelong learning and the opportunity that MyClub360 has to encourage this within sporting communities. Kevin, thank you very much.
Thanks, Kevin. Thank you, Jack, and congratulations on your appointment. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Marshall. I'm Head of Learning and Skills at Microsoft in Ireland. The real reason I'm here is to see that. But to be truthful, Brendan Kavanagh, who is the chair of my club and the CEO of Olive, we've been, and also all of our Microsoft ISV partner, we've been working for the past 2 years on this journey about how we think about reimagining learning and thinking about how learning, we can meet learners halfway as opposed to the current situation where content and pedagogy and curriculum tends to be delivered at them. So I am responsible for a facility in Microsoft called DreamSpace. To date, we have had about 130,000 learners through the doors, either virtually or physically. Obviously pre-pandemic, schools would come in twice a day, or schools would come in one school in the morning, one school in the afternoon, 3 hours, all STEM-based activities, coding, Arcadia, depending where the particular school was at the time. Primary, secondary school didn't matter. Obviously, every place was closed during the pandemic. We had to rethink the model. We went kind of a virtual model, all online as best we could. We partnered with RTE to put some of the content up on RTE Junior. And since the pandemic has passed and we are back in, schools coming in twice a day, which is fantastic. We also, with the Olive Group, launched a digital platform before Christmas, where we've taken a number of the courses that we have, developed them, put them online, and are currently making them available to schools. And also during the pandemic, we worked with RTE on Minecraft in terms of using Minecraft as an educational tool. And that kind of rethinking, reconceptualizing of learning coincided with the development of Olive's Teams app. Teams is one of our big Microsoft technical communications technologies. Probably most of us used it through the pandemic, either in school or in university, in trying to communicate and in trying to learn. And through that process over the last 18 months, we've been really thinking about how learning is changing, how it needs to change, and how platforms are evolving to support learners. And I think even in the last 3 or 4 weeks within this country, you've got massive change in how AI is dominating the education landscape with the notion of ChatGPT and what that could do and what it doesn't do and what we need to think about. And also you have this week the notion that the decision not to run Leaving Cert exams for fifth years, paper 1 and paper in Irish and English, the rollback from the reform of the senior cycle, so that education is very much core and central to what we do. It's integrated into everything, parts of our lives, but we do need to rethink it. And I think the opportunity with technology and AI provides us with that information and that opportunity. And we do know from the research that 70% of learning is informal, out and about, playing, whatever else we're doing, and 30% of it actually is learning in the classroom. Coupled with that, we know from the work we did with McKinsey in the last couple of years that the class of 2030 have a whole different view of learning. They're more interested in on-demand feedback. They're more interested in different relationship with their teachers, which is more immediate, more feedback is critical. There's a notion of the platform where they access information from a self-directed perspective, and personalization is key. And you just have to walk around and see the domination of the phone and all that sort of stuff. So I think that gives us a huge opportunity, and what we saw here this morning is to think about how you put those two things together, how you can conceptualize lifelong learning for coaches, for students, for anyone involved in education to get the prerequisite skills they need through the journey of whatever activity that they're in. And if you saw some of the examples this morning, there's fantastic technology. The challenge for us is to figure how we integrate that in terms of the formal stuff and the informal stuff to build a much more coherent, integrated model. And I would argue that needs to be more structured. And I think our job over the next number of years will be to think about that, because the pace of change and the pace of AI is accelerating exponentially. And I think we owe it to our learners, we owe it to our kids to not run away from this, but to embrace it and figure out what makes sense. And I think today you saw a great example of how community education can change and how you can put structured, really high quality content in front of all learners and coaches and parents. And actually, as parents, we have a real duty and responsibility to engage with this technology. You don't have to understand it all, because some of it is not understandable, but you do have to at least think about it. And you have to think about it, particularly on the data side, because all AI is driven by data. And therefore, these opportunities and these learning opportunities can provide us with that. So I'm delighted that over the next coming months we'll be in collaboration trying to figure out how Microsoft Dreamspace and how MyClub can think about communication, community education in a much different way than we've done so in the past. And I just want to congratulate the whole team. I've worked with a lot of these guys over the last couple of years in terms of how we stepped up Dreamspace and the Olive Group. So with that, I will say thank you. For the record, I went to Benilde's College. I've never been in a room with so many Gonzaga guys, ever. But I wish you well. Thank you very much.